One of the hidden things to do is you really are a function of who you're surrounded by. Invest in your network. And I don't mean that in a kind of cold-hearted, I want to network with these people, but just surround yourself by people who are also trying to push themselves, to push their income, push their opportunity set. And it makes it so much easier. If you're the only one doing it and you're around a group of friends, you're the odd one out and you're castigated for it. Find other people who want to do the same thing and you kind of help each other in that journey. Mm. So at an early stage, that's just one of the key things, is to find people who also want the same journey as you. That really helps. Then it's still about the best leverage of your skill set and being honest with what your skill set is. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you should be a doctor, just because you've graduated, because you can do other things. And it's figuring that out. That's not an easy bit, but you figure it out over time by trying stuff. We've all done multiple jobs and we know what we're terrible at and what we've been good at. And you kind of over-index on the things you're better at, and that works. So if you're early, it's the time to make bets in yourself and your network. And that gives you the foundational tools to then earn more income and then invest more.
Was there a seemingly pointless job you did that ended up in hindsight making you the most money? And what I mean by that is I think about my experience doing telesales between the age of 16 and 19 as probably the most important thing I ever did. Like, not only do I spend a lot of time talking now, but sales is a transferable skill across raising investment, persuading employees to come and join you. And I think there's nothing I did that was more important than telesales.
The single best skill you can acquire in life is to learn how to sell. To be comfortable around people and to be able to get a message across is the single most powerful tool you can have in life. Everything you do, finding a partner in life, doing anything you do, is basically sales.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge.
Raoul Pal dives into crypto's future. Bitcoin speculation and stocks versus crypto. Let's uncover what really matters together. Watch now.
For me, it's all based around what is your vision of your future self. How do you see yourself living? Because that is what we do. It's one of the sources of unhappiness is if your current state is not moving on the path of where your future self wants to be, how you imagine yourself. Generally not a materialistic outcome. It's generally an emotional outcome.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. But you need to position yourself in that future self and say, what does it feel like? Do I feel secure? Do I feel this? Do I feel that? So it's an emotional thing and not a material thing.
Is that central to a lot of this? You talked about emotional elements. Is being okay with what other people think of you?
Yeah, that's the other thing, is social pressure, right? So you may have the vision of yourself and you just say, I want the 3-bed house, with a little strip of lawn and your barbecue, and that's great. And around you, people are like, you should try harder.
Yeah.
So they're questioning your own sense of happiness. And society does that at scale. And then even the whole media complex is about kind of how unhappy and how miserable you are and should be. It doesn't make it an easy place. A lot of people avoid it because the financial world's full of jargon.
Yep.
You need to go to a professional for advice. That's what people think.
Mm-hmm.
It's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like you've got enough money. You're going to let them down, yourself down, your family down. So there's this whole kind of thing around it. It's the confidence that you can learn. Because a lot of people say, no, unless you're from an investment bank or you're in a RIA or something, you can't do this.
Right.
But just a little bit of confidence to say, you can do this.
A simple tip that I think people can do is just kind of figure out how much they spend on a monthly basis. Track your expenses for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. And you're going to learn so much more about just your personal habits of what you do. Because sometimes I'll forget that I DoorDash something for $30, or I'll forget that $15 or $20 Uber charge. And I'll just kind of file it away because I'm swiping my credit card. I'm not aware of it. It's like if you're going to the gym and you're not aware of your weight, how are you going to, where's your starting point? So I like to give people a starting point because then they can kind of have that small step to kind of start working towards their finances in that sort of way.
65% of Americans have no idea what they spent in the last month, according to the US Bank, and 60% underestimate their monthly spending by a significant margin.
Right, and that's exactly what I found. I tracked my expenses for a month in 2014. I thought I was spending $1,500 a month. Guess what? I was spending $2,800. And I wasn't making that much. And I was like, how am I off by an order of magnitude of, 60, 70%?
Bitcoin traders are buzzing after the cryptocurrency closed the week above $115,000, marking its second straight week of gains. That move, which came 8% higher than the late August low of $107,270, is being viewed as a powerful signal that the next target could be $120,000. The $115,000 level has acted as a wall since late Cardist, but now that Bitcoin has broken through it, analysts believe the path toward new highs looks much clearer. One key reason for optimism is the breakout above the Tenkan line from the Ichimoku Cloud Indicator, a technical tool that often signals short-term momentum shifts. Traders point out that the last time Bitcoin made this move, the price rallied over 40% to new highs. Now, with the Federal Reserve expected to cut rates this week, many see another perfect setup for Bitcoin to push higher. If the bullish trend holds, momentum could quickly carry BTC toward $120,000, with some analysts even projecting a rally beyond $150,000.
See how fundamentally different all of this stuff is. People are so screwed. They are coming out of university with massive debts. We looked at the stat earlier off camera when we were talking about the fact that the percentage of 30-year-olds who have a mortgage and are married has gone from 52% in 1950 to 12%. Nobody can afford anything. So if you look at the average millennial in the US and a Gen Z, they generally have a 401k if they've got a job, right? They have some sort of savings. But they're taking massive amounts of risk. A lot of us would look at them and say, this is ridiculous.
Why are they taking risk for anyone that doesn't?
Because there is no way of closing the gap between getting the deposit on the house, getting into a house, realizing that future vision of themselves, however reasonable that is.
Why?
It's so far away because the cost of assets has gone up so much versus their incomes don't go up.
You mean the cost of buying like a house, for example?
Yes, or even however much percentage share of the stock market the average salary does, stuff like that, that you're getting less for your money. So your future self is automatically going to be poorer because of it, because you could buy less of a house, etc.
Explain that to me like I'm an idiot, like I'm 10 years old, and maybe in the context of this mug here. In terms of why is that worth less now, based on what you said?
The way of explaining it is money is the medium of exchange, the thing that you buy something with. If we all have a lot of money, we've all got a stack of cash on this table, and you want to sell that mug, we can pay anything for that mug because we've got a stack of cash.
Mm-hmm.
So that mug suddenly is worth not the $10 it's supposed to be worth, it's suddenly we're paying $150 for the mug. Why? Because that money has no value to us because we've got excess money. So when you create excess money in the system, it's this debasement of currency. It's an optical illusion that the value of assets are actually going up. They're not. It's the value of your money is going down. And this is this pain point because your earnings only grow with economic growth generally, plus your progression of your career or whatever it may be. But those things, the scarce assets, are going up optically by the amounts they're lowering the thing. So what you find is salaries go up at about 2 or 3% a year. And the cost of the S&P is about 12%, 13% up every year. And a house price is about the same. Gold is about the same.
Bitcoin traders are bracing for a volatile week as all eyes turn to the U.S. Federal Reserve. The market widely expects the first interest rate cut of 2025, with a 0.25% move almost guaranteed, and even whispers of a larger cut. Such a decision could act as rocket fuel for risk assets like Bitcoin, which has already been battling key resistance at $117,000. A failure to reclaim that level could see a dip back toward $113,000. But traders agree that the bigger picture remains bullish. Historically, Bitcoin thrives during rate-cutting cycles, and analysts note that the asset seems to be pricing in what's coming. Some forecasting models like the Max Intersect SMA suggest a bull market top hasn't arrived yet, with potential targets as high as $140,000 to $160,000 in the coming weeks. At the same time, Binance data hints at strong buying pressure, while U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs absorbed nearly 9 times more BTC than miners produced last week. With institutional demand surging, many believe Bitcoin's next explosive move is just around the corner. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella for daily news all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.